All right, so now we're going to finish up this last part on number 10. And what we are going to do is we're going to finish this part. It says range of g of x. So if you look at g of x, the range, the lowest one is from negative, what is it? It goes by 2. So negative 1 all the way up. So what you're going to say is it's going to go, the range goes from negative 1, starts at negative 1 on the bottom, all the way up means it goes to infinity. So that's the one for number 10. So let's say you forget what this is. That's okay. If you forget, since you're studying, right? What you're going to do is, what you can do is, well, look at this on the side. What's that? What do you see that? It's a square root. What's that sign called? It's called a radical, right? So you know what the parent function is here? This is a square root parent function. Now, let's say you forgot these, which is okay because we've learned so much stuff. What you can do is you can type up parent function and you can get a chart and you can look at them and try to refresh your brain and remember what they are. So this is a radical. It doesn't ask for the parent function. It just asks for the transformation. So I think you guys know how to do that part. Now for domain, you're going to look for from left to right. And we're looking at domain of g of x. That means the blue one, left to right. So I'm going to see it starts at 1. Like if I were to draw this, from what x does it start at to draw? I start at negative 1 and I keep going forever. So that means that my domain is from negative 1 all the way down to infinity. So which one's that one? It is right here. Now, I cannot put a bracket on infinity because I can never touch infinity. Now, range. We're looking at the range of g of x. We're looking at blue. So if I were to take like a sticky note and put it at the bottom of blue, for my y, my lowest y that it goes through is 3, positive 3, right? And then it keeps going forever and ever and ever. So my range is from 3 to infinity. This one for the last blank. Now this one, you're like, what the heck is that? That has a 1/3. Hey. That has a 1/3 here for the exponent. That's not a cubed. That's different. So I'm going to take a look at my little parent functions chart to see. Yep, that looks like this, but it's not cubed because it's a little bit more stretched. It's flat. So I'm going to look, and it's actually not here. So this one is cubic, right? Let me find another chart. Look at this one. So this one is actually cube root. If it lies flat like that, if it's cubic, it's going up. But if it lies flat like that, it's a cube root. But this one is just asking the transformation. So you really don't even know. We need to know what it is. How does it move? Down 5, right? So you're just going to put for that one, down 5. Down 4. Down 2. You find it. Oh, down 5. Okay. This one. What's the name of this? You're like, oh man, I forgot that one. We actually were working with that one not that long ago. That one's absolute value, right? And it looks like that. So go here, name, equation, absolute value. Give me the domain. Does it ever stop on the x sides? On left to right? No. So since we know it's the absolute value, you put that, you put the equation. It doesn't ever stop. So I'm going to put from negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, what's my lowest y? 0. And it keeps going until 0 to positive infinity. It's at the lowest 0. It's at the lowest value for y at 0. And it goes up till forever. And the equation, what's the equation for absolute value? F of x equals to the little sticks. Because that's the absolute value, right? These. Oops. These. Right? This one. Name, equation, well, that one looks like this one. So what's that one? Look at this. This one looks like that one. What is it called? Square root. And what do you think you should see in the equation? A square root, right? So that one is square root, but you don't see the word square root, it's radical. Okay, radical. And you see the square root. And then the domain, is it all x's? Do I use all of this graph, left to right? No. I start from what x and I end where? 0 to infinity. And what about for y's? Same thing. Good. Okay. This one. That one looks like which one? Exponential, right? That one looks like exponential. When you look at your little chart. So you're going to exponential equation. It's this one. Where x is an exponent. Okay. Now your domain is all the way from the left all the way to the right. So that's negative infinity to positive infinity. But your range.
So domain, but I see -10.
No, it's negative infinity to positive infinity. You look at the left side. You look at like if you were to be drawing it, where would you start at? -10, right? But technically there's an arrow there. And that means what? It keeps going. And does it ever stop going to the right at all? No. So that's why it's like that. Now range. What's my lowest y? What does it look like? Actually, it goes over 1 right here because it's still down here. What is it closest to? For y value. It's really close to 0. It's actually really, really close. So it can't touch 0 on this case. So it's from 0 to infinity. This one, I'm giving you the name for this one. This one, it says reciprocal, right? But it's also called rational. Rational function. And it looks like that. And this one, it's 1 over x. And the domain is split. There's a cut right there. It like slices through. So that you're going to have two options for that. You're going to have from negative infinity and then it goes to 0 and it stops. And then it restarts at 0 to infinity. What do you think about the y's? Same thing. For my range, same thing. Okay. So for these you have to use this value and plug it in here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to look at question number 17 now. And I got these two equations, right? I got these two. I got f of x equals x squared minus 1. I got g of x equals x minus 1. You got 2. So what this says is find f plus g of 10. And you're like, what the heck is that? All you got to do is, this also means find f of 10 plus g of 10. Okay. So all you have to do is take this, plug it in here, and take this and plug it in there, and you're good. So I'm going to do f of 10, which is 10 squared minus 1. And I'm going to do g of 10, which is 10 minus 1. Okay? So the easy way to do this is, what's 10 squared? 100, right? Subtract that one. What's 100 minus 1? 99, right? And since they're adding, what's 10 minus 1? 9. And since they're adding, I could just add this. Ta-da! And what do you get? 108. Yeah. And that's the answer. Okay? So that's number 17. Yeah. 17's done. So now let's look at 18 real quick. I've got f of x minus g of x, right? Find f of x. So I'm going to write it like this, f of x. This is my f of x minus my g of x, which is x minus 9. Okay? Since it's subtract, I want to put it in parentheses. If it was plus, who cares? It doesn't matter. Nothing happens. But it's subtract. What do we say happens inside the parentheses when there's a minus in front? What happens to everything in here? All the signs do what? Y'all know this. They change. Good. All the signs are going to change. So if you had a minus here and it goes through, it's like it's distributed. So now I can write minus x, right? Because this sign changes and this sign changes. Right? To plus 9. So let me double check. I got x squared plus 9 minus x and then plus the 9. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite this now to look better. I'm going to do what we've been doing like on review 1, and I'm going to write it so it's x squared first, and then it's minus x, and then plus 9 and plus 9. What's that? Plus what? Plus the 18. So this looks good. This looks good. This is how I actually subtract them. Okay. So it says to just type it in, right? But I can't. So we had x, and to type it in, just put x, that little thing, squared, and what was it? Minus x plus 18, okay? Now for 9 says find f of x times g of x. So that means I'm going to take all of f of x, 4x plus 8, and I'm going to multiply by x plus 3. You see? F of x, this one, times g of x, which is this one. No, there's no plus here, right? No plus. So what I'm going to do is, now I have to multiply. So what have we been doing when we multiply? Well, what we do is we distribute, right? So 4 of x squared, and then distribute again, plus 12x, and then we do the other one. Multiply. What's 8 times 1? Plus 8x. Yeah. Oh my gosh, why is it doing this? So then I multiply these and I get plus 8x. And then plus 24. Good. And you gotta add like terms or combine like terms, right? So these middles will combine. So I got 4x squared plus 20x, right? Because it's total 20 plus 24. So if you're writing this down and not doing it on your sheet of paper, do it like this. Okay, so that's how you write your answer. And now for this one, it says find the value of f of g of 4. What we do is we find g of 4. That means I take a 4 and I plug it into all the equation of g. So I did, which that means I will get 12 plus 1, right? Which is 13. And then what I do is I take all of this and plug it in here. So now I'm going to get f of g of 4, which means I take that 13 and I plug it into the equation. 13 squared plus 13. And you're going to get some answer and you type that there.